So resistance reduces my efficiency. Resistance reduces my level of happiness. Resistance reduces my, of course, acceptability. It also reduces my understanding. Because the reason I'm resisting is I'm only looking at my perspective. I'm not understanding the perspective of others. So for all these good reasons, I should be moving from resistance to acceptance. Still, so much of perseverance, so much of endurance, so much of tolerance, so much of strength by that little creature. It has to come out. So that phase that it goes inside, that happens inside its own cocoon, that's called chrysalis. Chrysalis is a Greek word which means liquid gold. So just like gold has to melt in order to get away, get rid of its impurities and become pure, that's called tapna. Similarly, the body of the larvae, the caterpillar, melts. And now, no other test of my life seems big because I've already crossed the biggest test of my life. So henceforth, any challenge of my life looks very small. It doesn't induce fear because I've already gone through so much. Nothing could be as fierce as this now. And now imagine if someone keeps that larvae on your hand, on your shoulder as a prank, what will you do? Throw away. Shout, "Kya hai? Kida rakh diya." And when that same larvae, that same caterpillar becomes a butterfly, you go after it, waiting for it to sit quietly on a flower so that you can take a selfie, admire it. Earlier you were throwing away. It's the same creature.
हाँ, नज़रिया बदलेंगे तो नज़ारा अपने आप बदल जाता है, राइट? तो आज ये टॉपिक क्या है? रेजिस्टेंस टू एक्सेप्टेंस. तो आपको क्या लगता है क्या मिलेगा आज? You should do it happily. Okay, that is the definition of acceptance. और acceptance और resistance में difference कहाँ होता है? Resistance is sometimes that we do things unintentionally. हमें पता नहीं है why we are resisting. Right? ऐसा होता है कभी? We resist change. We resist people. We resist new lifestyle. बहुत सी चीज़ों को हम रेजिस्ट करते हैं ना. उसमें मज़ा आता है किसी को रेजिस्टेंस में? एक क्या फील होता है? कंटिन्यूअस एक फ्रिक्शन फील होता रहता है ना. सो टू ओवरकम दैट फ्रिक्शन वी नीड टू लर्न द आर्ट ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस. और उसके लिए हमारे साथ आज एक बहुत अच्छे फैकल्टी हैं. सून शी विल बी विथ अस. तो तब तक आप बताइए, आपने ये टॉपिक तो सुना होगा ना तब से, जब से ग्रुप में सर्कुलेट हुआ होगा. कौन कौन वो देखता है संडे आने से पहले आज का क्या टॉपिक है, कौन स्पीकर है, वेरीफाई करते हैं. तो कुछ ना कुछ एक्सपेक्टेशंस तो आपको रहे होंगे. व्हाट आपने क्या एक्सपेक्ट किया था? हाँ, क्या होगा आज? वो तो हमेशा हर टॉपिक में मिलता है. वो तो स्टैंडर्ड आंसर्स नहीं चाहिए, कस्टमाइज्ड. कि जब हम कुछ भी टॉपिक एक देखते हैं तो हमारे मन में कुछ तो आता है ना कि आज इससे क्या होने वाला है, या हम ये चीज़ कितना लैक करते हैं या क्या है. ओके, सो टू थ्रो द लाइट ऑन दिस सब्जेक्ट वी हैव Vidhatri Didi with us. She has come from Delhi especially to meet you people. तो एक बार ज़ोरदार हम तालियां बजाएंगे दीदी के लिए. She is a gold medalist from Surat and NIT Surat, and is means she has a job in IBM, and along with that she pursued meditation since 2008 and conducted many trainings during her job period, as well as after the permissions of elders of the organization, she switched from job to complete surrender services. And after that, she has conducted hundreds of workshops helping many like us. And many means all sectors, from kids to adults to the grown-ups. So, हम दीदी का बहुत बहुत दिल से स्वागत करते हैं, स्वागत करते हैं, स्वागत करते हैं। लेकिन उसके पहले हम हमारे मन को थोड़ा शांत करेंगे, क्योंकि जब तक मन शांत नहीं होगा ना, तो वो ब्लोटिंग पेपर एब्जॉर्ब करता है अगर उसमें ऑलरेडी कुछ कुछ भरा हुआ है तो नहीं ना। तो उस एब्जॉर्प्शन के लिए हम अपने मन को तैयार करेंगे विथ 1 minute ऑफ साइलेंस। सो दीदी इज़ ऑल्सो विथ अस, तो एक बार हम ज़ोरदार तालियों से दीदी का स्वागत करते हैं। विधात्री दीदी जी फ्रॉम दिल्ली, ओम शांति रिट्रीट सेंटर, विच इज़ वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट centers of Brahma Kumaris. तो हम सब ने दीदी के बारे में सुना। दीदी इज़ अ गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट फ्रॉम NIT सूरत, हैज़ परस्यूड meditation since 2008 and has conducted hundreds of workshops helping many of us. So won't take much time. We will listen from Didi to how to move on from resistance towards acceptance. Thank you, Didi.
Today we are here to discuss about this very beautiful subject of life, moving from resistance to acceptance, right? How do you feel when you resist something? How do you feel when you resist something? Inconvenience, discomfort. And imagine you're walking, complaining. A very simple example. Imagine you're walking on road and the wind is blowing in the opposite direction. So while you're walking, you're actually resisting the flow of wind. How do you feel at that time? What happens when you're moving and you want to move, but the wind is blowing at a very, very strong wind is blowing in the opposite direction of your movement? How do you feel at that time? You'll be pushed back. Extra effort. So where there is resistance, there is a lot of extra effort. And when there is acceptance, then your effort reduces, you move forward, right? Let's do a small activity to understand what is resistance and why do we resist. Are we all ready to do one activity? Yes? For this, you'll all need to stand up. And I hope English is convenient for everybody? Yes? So now, come into pairs of 2. Just choose a partner and come into pairs of 2. Stand with your pairs. So find a pair and stand with your pairs. Just choose a pair. Okay. Who doesn't have a pair now? They can raise your hand. Okay. You don't have a pair, and okay. So you go there. Okay. Who doesn't have a pair? Okay. Please raise your hand once again. Who doesn't have a pair? जिसको अपना पैर नहीं मिला है वो हाथ खड़ा करे. 2 of you. So you can see, है ना? भाई साहब मिल गया, ठीक है. एक बार फिर से हाथ खड़ा करें. अच्छा, और किसको नहीं मिला? पीछे किसको नहीं मिला? ऊंचा हाथ खड़ा करें. किसको नहीं मिला? हाँ, तो हेल्प कर दीजिए. जिनको पैर नहीं मिला हेल्प कर दीजिए. अब एक एक्टिविटी करते हैं, ठीक है? प्रेजेंटेशन इज देयर. सो अभी 1 मिनट का समय आपको देते हैं. आई विल गिव यू 1 minute In that 1 minute, you have to look at your partner, your pair, nicely from top to bottom in detail. Look at your pair for 1 minute. Okay, your time starts now. आगे से, पीछे से, from front, back. Look at them in detail for 1 minute. One minute is not over. You must have never thought, na, 1 minute will be so long. Now you realize 1 minute is no less time. Okay, now it is over. Okay, relax. Ever thought time? We think 1 minute, oh, 1 minute goes like this only. But now we realize 1 minute is such a long time. What we have to do is, when I say start, you have to turn back towards your partner, stand back to back, and you have to do, for I'll give you 10 seconds, you have to do 3 visible changes in yourself. What is a visible change? So if you have your mobile in the right pocket, you take it out and put in the left pocket, is it a visible change? No. Your mobile was not visible earlier also, it's not visible now also. So it's not a visible change. So you understand, you have to do 3 visible changes to yourself in those 10 seconds. And when I say stop, you have to then again turn towards your partner, and you have to identify 3 changes of your partner, and your partner will identify your 3 changes. Okay? So your time starts. Turn back towards your partner, make 3 changes. Stop. And now turn towards your partner. Identify 3 changes of your partner. Do you have a partner? है? हो गया डिस्कशन? अच्छा, हो गया डिस्कशन? सबका हो गया? How many of you were able to find 3 changes of your partner? How many of you did not do 3 changes? Did not do 3 changes? 2 changes. Okay, 1 change only. 3 changes. How many of you did 3 changes? Okay. So here's another chance for you. Retain your 3 changes. Let the 3 changes be as it is. Once again, we will turn back. Do 3 new changes. Okay? So, don't resist the topic. Start 3. Okay. Turn towards your partner now. Identify 3 new changes. इस बार किसने किए? How many of you did 3 changes this time? 2 changes only? 1 change only? No change? No change? Okay. One more time? One more time? No? Okay. एक Baki, the majority says no. Okay, then fine. Please come back to your seats. So, how was your change story? How many of you would like to have the same dal chawal every day? No. Same dress every day? No, our sari changes. The color white. All saris are white, but the dress changes. But nevertheless, even if it's same color, we enjoy. So that's what I'm asking. How many of you would enjoy the same color daily, the same dal chawal daily, or whatever is your diet? Same to same. Ditto. Nobody, right? So how many of you want change? Everybody. But how many of us want to change? Huh? Once chance, second chance. By the third time, we said, no, no more change. Don't ask us to change anymore. So, if you observe yourself, because I was here, I was observing everybody while you were doing this activity. If you observe yourself when you did this activity, when I told you to look at your partner for 1 minute, how was it 1 minute? Too long. And how was it 1 minute? Any other word for that? Awkward? How many of you felt awkward? Right? Right? Why? Because you didn't have the purpose. Why am I told to just stare at my partner or look at my partner from top to down from one minute? You don't have the purpose. If I would have told you that after this you have to spot the differences, you would have utilized that 1 minute more meaningfully. So, the moral is, when we are told to do something without the objective behind it, we question about it. Why? क्यों? क्या? कैसे? ऐसे क्यों? वैसे क्यों नहीं? Because we don't know the reason behind it. We don't know the purpose behind it. So why do we resist? Point number 1, we don't know the purpose. Hence we resist. If you find someone resisting your decision, understand they might not be able to see the purpose behind it as you are able to see. So explain the purpose. And then maybe they'll be more accepting towards your decision, more cooperating. When they accept, they become cooperative. Second thing, when I asked you to turn back towards your partner and do 3 changes, what was in your mind? What changes did you do? Remove the watch. Huh? Remove the spectacles. So the first thing that comes in our mind when we talk about change is subtracting something, removing something, letting go of something. So it has become a perception that change is equal to loss. 3 changes, 3 loss. After 1 or second, you were thinking, what to lose now? There's nothing to lose now. I've come down to the minimum. There's nothing I can lose now. And so there was resistance. And when you were told to repeat the activity, retaining those 3 losses, because at that time for you, change was loss. So when I said you have to retain those loss, do 3 more loss, give over 3 more things, it was difficult. And for the third time, it was a big, hard no. So, resistance. So as long as we think that change is equal to loss, we are not ready to change. We want change to happen around us, but we are not ready to change because, again, why resistance? Because we have believed change is equal to loss. How many of you in that activity actually added something to bring out that change? Instead of removing, you would have added something that would also have been a physical change. Right? Some of you did so, yes? Some of you did, but not most of us. Right? If you think of change as like this, in this perspective, change means adding something. Each time I'm asked to change, I will gain something. So when I take change in a positive, with a positive perspective, I am ready to go for it. I accept change. If change is only loss, I will resist it. Another observation I had. Did you notice when you had your back towards your partner, you were actually facing someone else? You could have made them your partner and exchanged something with them. उनका भी भला होता, आपका भी भला होता. किसी ने किया ऐसा? Did anyone do this? Exchange something where you are also in the same boat as I am. When we undergo a change, we feel I am the only one. मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है? What do I do? Right? We do not realize everybody is in the same boat. The whole world is undergoing a change. There is no reason for me to resist. Others might be undergoing a bigger change. If I see how I am more privileged than others, maybe I can accept the change in a better way. See the positive side of it. But we fail to recognize the plight and the situation of others. And so whatever is happening, I try to resist it. But if I see the other side, if I see we are all sailing in the same boat, we have all become partners in this change, maybe I will navigate through that change more swiftly without resisting it. Do you think it's a good idea to think it that way? If you can't change, you have to change your attitude towards the change. Another question, last observation. Finally, when I told you to sit down, how many of you reverted all your changes before sitting? You are not sitting with those changes now. You have gone back to your original, which means if change is forceful, and if you're only changing out of force, you're not comfortable with that change, you will come back to kitna bhi, so you have sometimes kitna bhi isko bolo, phir वैसे ही हो जाता है. Right? So this is also resistance only, na? Because you have not accepted it. The moment you were given freedom to sit down, you did not accept those changes. You reverted all those changes and you sat back as you were before the activity. So sometimes just doing it for the sake of doing it and then not accepting it and getting back to your normal self as soon as that person turns back is also resistance only. Only because you're doing it doesn't mean that you have accepted it. The moment that person is out, so for example, if in an organization, the leader or the boss has the quality of being punctual. So what happens as long as that boss is in office? Everybody else will become punctual. And the day when he is on a tour or on leave, that day, we will all come at our 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, after half day. Today the punctual boss is not there, so I have the liberty to be my original self. That also is a way of resistance only. It is like what happens when you put a person on ventilator. He is not able to breathe in on his own. His heart is not pumping well on his own. So you put him on the ventilator. As long as he's on the ventilator, everything is working fine. The moment you put it off the ventilator, again his parameters go up and down. So this is like a forceful ventilator. As long as my boss is there, I'm on a punctual ventilator. The boss is out, I'm also out of the ventilator. So this is why if we resist change, so first of all, change is not equal to loss. If I resist change, I'm putting in extra efforts. And if I am putting extra efforts, it means I'm reducing, I'm not able to put that effort somewhere else where that effort would have been more productive, more efficient. So resistance reduces my efficiency. Resistance reduces my level of happiness. Resistance reduces my, of course, acceptability. It also reduces my understanding. Because the reason I'm resisting is I'm only looking at my perspective. I'm not understanding the perspective of others. So for all these good reasons, I should be moving from resistance to acceptance. Now, how can I change my mindset to move on this journey, to move forward on this journey? So, it's time for me to change. Imagine what would happen if the caterpillar resisted. No, I'll not get into the cocoon. I'll not come out as a butterfly. He doesn't know. Just imagine, we are all intellectual beings. We have seen other people improving, facing challenges, becoming stronger. We have this whole social media to tell us about these motivational stories about other people. So we are all well connected. Imagine a caterpillar. When it gets into its own cocoon, and for 21 days, it transforms from a caterpillar, from a larvae, into a butterfly. Has anybody else seen what that larvae is undergoing in that cocoon? Or has that larvae or caterpillar seen other butterflies' journey in their cocoon? Is there any social media to tell them, don't worry, 21 days after 21 days, you'll become a butterfly? Is there any social media? Does he have any insight on what he is transforming into? Has he got any sakshatkar? This will be your future, so don't worry. No. Still so much of perseverance, so much of endurance, so much of tolerance, so much of strength by that little creature. It has to come out. So that phase that it goes inside, that happens inside its own cocoon, that's called chrysalis. Chrysalis is a Greek word which means liquid gold. So just like gold has to melt in order to get away, get rid of its impurities and become pure, that's called tapna. Similarly, the body of the larvae, the caterpillar, melts. It's like Punarjanam in the same, life. You see your body melting away. Imagine you see your hands melting away and you can do nothing about it. You see your legs and you see something like a tumor coming out. You don't know it's going to be my wings that will help me to fly, but at that stage, it is just like a tumor coming out. I don't know why my hands are going, where my legs are going. And I don't know what's coming out of my body. I don't know why my body is shrinking. And after all this pain, to get out of that heatful environment of so much of pressure inside the cocoon, so much of heat inside the cocoon, when I have to get out of it, I have to get out through a small hole. All my body's strength goes away in just coming out of that small hole in the cocoon. But when I come out, and when I expand my wings, I see, oh my God, what has happened? all that pain was for good. Because I don't have to crawl anymore. Now I can fly. I can fly miles without stopping. My beauty attracts people. And now, no other test of my life seems big because I've already crossed the biggest test of my life. So henceforth, any challenge of my life looks very small. It doesn't induce fear. Because I've already gone through so much. Nothing would be as fierce as this now. And now imagine, if someone keeps that larvae on your hand, on your shoulder, as a prank, what will you do? Throw away. Shout, "Kya hai? Kida rakh diya?" And when that same larvae, that same caterpillar becomes a butterfly, you go after it, waiting for it to sit quietly on a flower so that you can take a selfie, admire it. Earlier you were throwing away. It's the same creature. What has given so much of value to it? Its endurance, its tapasya, its acceptance. If it would have resisted, it would have died as a larvae only, rejected by everyone. But because it went through that change, now because he accepted change, he has become acceptable and admired by all. So if I undergo a change, adding on something, gaining a new experience, understanding and exploring new perspectives, understanding what limits me, what makes me crawl, and what change can make me fly. If I have to undergo some hardship, some test, some tapasya for it, it's all for good. Imagine how much value addition I will have in my life. So, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. So the world was over for the caterpillar, but the world is now beginning for a butterfly. So at every stage of life, I have to lose my previous self to become a new and advanced one. All of you have a smartphone? When did you purchase it? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? Since these 3 years, 4 years, is the software of your phone the same, or has there been any software upgrade in the phone? Updated? How many times did you accept that update of your phone because you knew new features will be added? But in these 3 years, 4 years, have you got a new version of yourself? It's important to get a phone update, but I don't think I need an update for myself. I'm already perfect. Is that so? What about my own update? Learning new things, accepting new ideas, changing my old behavior patterns. नहीं, मैं तो इसी टाइम उठूंगी, मैं तो बेड के इसी साइड सोऊंगी, मैं तो इसी थाली में खाऊंगी, यही मेरा कप है, मेरी बात ही राइट है. So, we are in our own cage. So what seemed to be a struggle for the butterfly was actually essential for its growth, so that it can take a full flight. But we don't accept that struggle in our life. We resist it. So what are we resisting actually? We are resisting the growth. We are resisting those wings that will help me take a full flight. So it's time to move from resistance to acceptance. What is acceptance? Like, For example, here, it's raining. Oh, I don't like rains. Why did it rain now? All these questions. Acceptance is it's raining. Okay, yes. Take an umbrella and go. What is a sign of resistance? Waste thoughts. How do you know you're resisting? Waste thoughts. Acceptance does not mean you become the way. Suppose, for example, there's something which is genuinely wrong, universally wrong. Acceptance doesn't mean you also become wrong. That's not the meaning of acceptance. Acceptance is you understand what is wrong and then you accept this is a situation. Now choose your own response to it. Acceptance doesn't mean copying that response into you. That's another thing. But at least accept this is the way how it is. You have the liberty to choose your response. But just questioning, दुनिया में ये सब क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, क्यों लड़ मर रहे हैं सारे के सारे? How will these questions help you? Accept, na, this is how the situation is. Now what do I have to do? Instead of questioning the situation, question yourself. That is accepting the situation. And question yourself to understand what will be my response to it. What is the best I can do? What answer do I have to this situation? Right? Let's see this video.
Imagine you were born in 1900. When you are 14, World War I begins and ends when you are 18 with 22 million dead. Soon after a global pandemic, the Spanish flu appears, killing 50 million people. And you are alive at 20 years old. When you are 29, you survive the global economic crisis that started with the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange, causing inflation, unemployment, and famine. When you are 33 years old, the Nazis come to power. When you are 39, World War II begins and ends when you are 45 years old, with a 60 million dead. In the Holocaust, 6 million Jews died. When you are 52, the Korean War begins. When you are 64, the Vietnam War begins and ends when you are 75. A child born in 1985 thinks his grandparents have no idea how difficult life is, but they have survived 7 wars and catastrophes. Today we have all the comforts in our new world amid a new pandemic, but we complain because we need to wear masks. We complain because we must stay confined to our homes where we have food, electricity, running water, Wi-Fi, and even Netflix. None of that existed back in the day, but humanity survived those circumstances and never lost their joy of living. A small change in our perspective can generate miracles. We should be thankful that we are alive. We should do everything we need to do to protect and help each other. This message should reach everyone. Please help spread it.
So this is a video of the pandemic time, but it gives a very clear message. If there would have been a competition in the world, सबसे दुखी कौन? Who do you think would be the winner? हर कोई बोलेगा मैं मैं, राइट? मुझसे दुखी तो कोई है ही नहीं, इतने challenges तो किसी की लाइफ में है ही नहीं. Nobody is facing the, you don't know what I'm going through, right? But you see, life has always been like this because the moment, why does life come with all these challenges? Why does a batsman always have to face the ball? Because he's playing. If you don't want to face the ball, go into the pavilion. Out हो जाइए, pavilion चले जाइए. But pavilion is not your permanent address. You have to come back to the field in some other match and play again. So there's no question ये ball ऐसे क्यों आ रही है. A good batsman never complains about, right? यॉर्कर मत डालना, गुगली मत डालना, वाइड मत फेंकना, नो बॉल नहीं होनी चाहिए, सीधा सीधा फेंकोगे तो ही खेलूंगा. Batsman never complains. His job is to focus on his batting. Accept the ball and the bowler. ये बॉलर ऐसे ही फेंकेगा. Accept the ball and the bowler. Choose your response. That is your free area. So, the first thing, remove the word impossible. Oh, this change is impossible. This situation is impossible. This person is impossible. The first acceptance should be, impossible says, I am possible. What do you see in this image? What's happening in this image? There's a lion and there's a butterfly. Where is the butterfly? On the top of his nose. And how do you feel the lion is feeling? What do you think the lion is feeling? Irritated. And what is the lion trying to do? What is it trying to do? What is the lion trying to do? What it should do is a different thing, but what is the lion trying to do? Angry. Catch the butterfly. How? By roaring. What else? He's trying to eat the butterfly, opening his mouth wide, trying to reach his nose and eat the butterfly. And because he's not able to do it, and probably he'll be never able to do it, so he is getting very irritated. Very irritated. Is there another way of getting rid of the butterfly? Certainly it is. There is. What is the way? Use the paw. Simpler than that. खड़े खड़े 1 second में उड़ जाएगी butterfly. How? Huh? Move. Shake your head. Shake your head. But butterfly को क्या फर्क पड़ता है मैं शेर की नाक पे बैठूं, मैं पेड़ पे बैठूं, मैं कहीं भी बैठूं, उसके लिए तो वो बैठने की जगह है. Sometimes we are as powerful, as mighty as the lion. Situation is as small as a butterfly, but it is just sitting right on my nose and I am feeling irritation. And I try all means sometimes not to accept it, to resist it, to stop it. And I sometimes feel so stuck, this is impossible. But there are always n+1 ways to solve a problem. N ways you've already tried and not succeeded. One way that still remains. There is always one way out of every situation. Nothing is impossible. So the moment I start resisting, I need to ask myself, have I tried all ways? And at that moment, to stop those waste thoughts and to allow that one solution waiting for me to come in, I need to make some space. Now, for example, in this room, we have all these chairs, sofas, everything is, all furniture is set up. Now I want to add, say, 20 more chairs in the room. How can I do it? Or I have to completely change the whole furniture and add new chairs. How will I do it? I have to make some space. I have to make some space. When there's already a mob of waste thoughts in my mind, when I am thinking about the situation, fear, resistance, क्यों, क्या, मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है, यही हमेशा क्यों आ जाता है, इसको प्रॉब्लम क्या है मुझसे. When there's a mob of all these waste thoughts inside my mind, do you think there's a space for that solution to come in? So it is just waiting कि कब ये accept करेगा, कब इसके मन में सारे questions शांत होंगे और कब मैं आऊँ. And we never accept the situation, so the solution just keeps waiting and never comes in. And then we reinforce our belief, देखा solution नहीं आया ना, मतलब ये impossible था. then we reinforce our belief system. And so that belief system never changes. So if I want to make things possible, I need to let go of my waste thoughts. And what's the best way of doing it? Silence. And silence starts with acceptance. चलो जो हो गया. उस व्यक्ति को, उस चीज़ को, उस समय को बदल नहीं सकते. हो गया. अब क्या करें? Instead of asking what, why, how, who, just ask one question. What next? What next? The moment you ask yourself what next, all your previous questions get answered. And then the impossible becomes possible. This is where meditation helps us. Letting go of all those questions, accepting, and then moving on, asking yourself, do you have an answer? What could that be? Another thing, why we resist. You see this? What did this little sprout do? This little shoot do? It is coming out of a cemented road. It would have been so uncomfortable, but the cemented road could not could not stop its growth. It made its way out. We are also sometimes confined in a very uncomfortable environment. Just like the cemented road is a very uncomfortable environment for the sapling to grow. The conducive environment is a very wet and a very loose soil. It's easy for it to. So it doesn't choose. Now, it was not his choice that the seed went inside the ground and then it was cemented on the top. It was not his choice, but it had to grow. So it didn't look at the environment and gave an excuse. I didn't grow because this environment was not conducive for me. So why do we resist? Because something makes me feel uncomfortable, so I resist it. Hey, this is not comfortable for me. I don't want this. I will not wear this. I will not sit here. I will not eat or drink this. I will not go with this person. Why? Because they make me feel uncomfortable. So where there's discomfort, there is resistance. What do you mean by discomfort? See, we all have our comfort zone boundary, right? So if I say this is my comfort zone, which means anything here is outside my comfort zone, so that is making me uncomfortable. That is making me uncomfortable. Now there are two ways. First is resist that thing and let it go. मतलब उसको भेज दो, उसको हटा दो मेरे सामने से, दूर हो जाए मेरी नजरों से. Because its presence makes me feel uncomfortable because it is outside my comfort zone boundary. So one is you try to change the situation. Another thing is you increase your comfort zone boundary. Now the same thing has come inside your comfort zone. What will help you grow? Changing the situation and making your being confined to your comfort zone boundary, or expanding your comfort zone boundary so that now that thing and many such things that made you uncomfortable earlier are now within your comfort zone boundary. How do you define growth? What is growth for you? Situation A, changing the situation, or situation B, expanding your comfort zone boundary? This is what growth is. So anything that we actually resist comes to us to just tell me, you have not grown up to this level. Grow. It comes to tell me, it is a mirror in front of me to tell me this is still my weak area. Learn, accept, grow. And the moment your comfort zone boundary increases, it comes into your comfort zone boundary. Now the same thing, the presence of the same person, That same thing does not make you feel uncomfortable. You have adapted yourself. And if you go on increasing your comfort zone boundary, nothing in the world can make you uncomfortable. What is real strength? In resisting everything, becoming a rebel in everything, or when nothing can disturb you? What is true strength? When nothing can disturb you. That is when you have become so powerful. कोई कुछ भी कर ले आपको डिस्टर्ब करी. You have grown so powerful. So if I feel resistance, I need to increase my comfort zone boundary. Accepting people the way they are. Because they might also be accepting me the way I am. No big deal. Everybody is different. You are different. I am different. Everybody in this room is different. We are all unique. Uniqueness is a feature. It's not a bug. Don't try to fix it. It's a feature. It's a God-gifted feature. We all are unique. We are meant to be unique. Our journeys are unique. Our past was different. Just because we are here in the same place in the present doesn't mean we've had same journey and we'll go in the same direction. We are here only for this moment. You have come from a different journey. I've had a different past life. In the future also we will have different directions. So just because we are together in the present doesn't mean you have to now come to my journey. No. Accept. Because uniqueness is a feature. It is not a bug. There's no need to fix it. मेरी तरह क्यों नहीं बात करते? मेरी तरह क्यों नहीं करते? नहीं कर सकते. करना ही नहीं है. इतनी बड़ी गलती भगवान से नहीं हो सकती कि अगर एक जैसे बनाना था तो अलग अलग बना दिया. Deliberately किया है. It is deliberate. So make yourself comfortable. Accept. We are all actors. We might be acting in the same movie. We might share the same screen, but we are all different actors. Each actor has a different dialogue. Each actor has a different role. So don't see the role and get uncomfortable. See the soul. That is a different soul having a different role. I am a different soul having a different role. My dialogues are bound to be different. Their dialogues, their roles are bound to be different. And don't judge them by their roles, because if one actor is playing the role of a villain in one movie doesn't mean that the person is a villain. Doesn't mean. Right? It is just a role. That soul has played so many roles and will still play so many roles. So accept the role. Sometimes, you do get awards for the best actor in negative role also. So he might be the best actor in the negative role. He's not a negative person. So don't be uncomfortable. Accept. If you feel it's not right, you don't do it. Right? Now, another situation. If you are driving on a highway, how is your driving pattern on a highway? Very speed. How much can you drive? 150. Ever tried that? Very nice. So anybody उससे ज़्यादा किसी ने try किया है? चलिए, let's keep 150. 150 on a highway. So if you have to cover 100 kilometers, less than an hour, and you'll be there at your destination. And how many turns on a highway? Hardly. Only one exit जब एग्जिट करना है. Any overtakings? No. Free lane. Everybody is in their lane. No crowd, no overtaking, no turns, no speed breakers, no diversions. Smooth, na? Now imagine those same 100 kilometers on a hilly terrain. Can you imagine 150? How many hours will you take? There you took less than an hour if you were driving at 150. But 100 kilometers on a hilly terrain, how much time would you take? 6 to 7 hours. Imagine half your day, active day, gone in just driving. And what about the turns? Many turns, and many of them will be blind turns. And how about how many lanes road? Just a single road. जाना भी वहीं से है, आना भी वहीं से है, ओवरटेकिंग भी हो रही है, किसी को उल्टी भी आ रही है. All that is happening. All that is happening. But still, what do you enjoy? Going on a hill station? Because when you reach on the top, you feel everything was worth it. And when you are on the highway, you're moving ahead, you're moving forward. But when you're moving on a hilly terrain, you're not just moving forward, you're moving higher also. So remember, when turns are more when you climb up. Don't resist the turns. टर्न ले लीजिए क्योंकि आप चढ़ाई चढ़ रहे हैं. अभी तो हैदराबाद शिफ्ट हुए थे, अभी फिर शिफ्ट करने को कह रहे हैं. रेजिस्टेंस. अभी तो ये शिफ्ट हुई थी, अभी फिर शिफ्ट कर दी. अभी तो जॉब लगी थी, फिर वर्क फ्रॉम होम बोल दिया. राइट? Try to see the bigger picture. If turns are more, instead of resisting, try to see the bigger picture. Try to feel. Maybe this is making you elevated. You're rising higher. You're not just going forward. Definitely you're going forward, but you're also rising higher. So don't just sit on the turn and say, मैं तो नहीं जाऊँगा. Go for it. Accept it. Another situation. When you drive and there is a speed breaker on the road, what do? Slow down and then apply brake, slow down and then just stand at the speed breaker. महाराज जी कब आप हटेंगे और कब मैं आगे बढ़ूंगा. आरती उतारो उसकी, चलो आगे बढ़ो. करते हैं स्पीड ब्रेकर को. आगे बढ़ो ना भाई, मुझे बढ़ना है आगे, हटो ना मेरे रास्ते से. करते हैं ऐसा? करते हैं? You slow down, you cross the speed breaker and then again accelerate. Sometimes more than your speed on which you were driving previously. So speed breakers are not telling you to stop. They are telling you to just slow down, check your controls, because सड़क सिर्फ आपकी नहीं है और लोग भी चल रहे हैं. So if you are driving, there are other cars too, there are other pedestrians too, उनकी भी सड़क है. They also have to cross the road. In life also, you want to move at a very fast pace, but there are others in your life who need your time, who need your support, who need your presence. For them, you have to slow down sometimes. Don't resist that speed breaker. It is just to bring you in presence. It is just to bring you in harmony with other people who are using the same road. And once that phase will be over, you're not just going to stop there. You will again accelerate. So, speed breaker is not a barrier telling you to stop. It is just telling you to slow down. Take a pause. Acknowledge the presence of others. They need you. They need you to pause. They have a share in your life. Accept it. Sometimes you have to mold yourself for them. But you love them, and that's worth it. What do you think? Do you think, what are the brakes in your car for? What is the purpose of brakes in your car? What do the brakes do? Stop, helping you to stop, right? So if the brakes are not there in the car, if nothing stops you, wouldn't that be good? If there are no brakes in the car, will you be able to take that car at a very high speed? Why? The brakes were stopping you, now the brakes are not there. So speed up. Will you speed up that car which has no brakes? Why? क्योंकि रोकने वाला कौन होगा फिर? So brakes are not there to tell you to stop. क्योंकि ब्रेक्स हैं, आपको ब्रेक्स पे कॉन्फिडेंस है, इसीलिए आप स्पीड अप कर पाते हैं गाड़ी को. अगर गाड़ी में ब्रेक्स हो ही ना तो आप कभी फर्स्ट गियर से सेकंड गियर में गाड़ी डालेंगे ही नहीं, क्योंकि रोकने वाला कौन होगा फिर. हमारी लाइफ में भी जो लोग ब्रेक की तरह दिखाई दे रहे हैं, एक्चुअली वो आपके गार्जियन है. वो आपको रोक नहीं रहे, उनके कारण ही आप आगे बढ़ पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि आपको कॉन्फिडेंस है गलत जाएंगे तो ये खड़े हैं. डोंट रेजिस्ट देम. क्या है बार बार टोकते रहते हैं, जब देखो तब टोकते रहते हैं. वो ब्रेक ज़रूरी है लाइफ में, नहीं तो पता नहीं गाड़ी कहाँ जा कर के किससे एक्सीडेंट कर बैठती, लाइफ की गाड़ी. So if you have a break at home, go back and thank them. Thank you for being the break. आपके कारण से मैं स्पीड ले पाता हूँ, क्योंकि आप बैठे हैं. जहाँ गलत होंगे वहाँ वो रोक लेंगे. अगर वो ना होते, कोई बताने वाला ही नहीं होता, there's nobody to tell you that you're going wrong. Imagine कितने एक्सीडेंट्स कर चुके होते अभी तक हम. So go back. If that break is at your home, go to them and say thank you. अगर वो ब्रेक आपके सामने नहीं है, कॉल करके उनको थैंक्स कीजिएगा. And just have a look at this. एंड दिस इज जस्ट वन इंस्टेंस. आप अपने देश में देख लीजिए, कोई भी ऐसा व्यक्ति जो आज बहुत ईमानदारी से ऊंचाइयों पर पहुंचा है, उसकी जर्नी देख लीजिए. और कहीं नहीं, अपनी फैमिली में, आपकी फैमिली में 2-3 जनरेशन्स के पीछे कोई ना कोई एक ऐसा रहा होगा जो बिल्कुल ज़ीरो से उठा होगा. उनके कारण आज, उनके एंड्योरेंस के कारण, उनकी एक्सेप्टेंस के कारण, उनकी टॉलरेंस के कारण आज मुझे ये सब कुछ मिल रहा है. लुक विद इन योर फैमिली, ईदर योर फादर और योर ग्रैंडफादर और एनीबडी, ज़रूर एक ना एक आपकी फैमिली में ऐसा होगा. Anybody who has rose because of his own integrity, ईमानदारी से उठा है, ज़रूर ऐसा होगा. आप देश की राष्ट्रपति देख लीजिए, प्रधानमंत्री देख लीजिए, कोई भी ऐसा व्यक्ति देख लीजिए. चलिए पॉलिटिक्स के बाहर देख लीजिए, साइंटिस्ट को देख लीजिए. पॉलिटिक्स एनीवेज, ब्रह्मा कुमारी इज नॉन पॉलिटिकल, नॉन कमर्शियल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Look at the scientists. Look at Kalam ji, look at K. Sivam ji, look at anybody whose life has been without obstacles. The greater the obstacle you cross, the more is the glory. No obstacles, no glory. No mud, no lotus. No night, no moon. चांद की खूबसूरती इसी में है क्योंकि वो रात में निकलता है. उससे ज़्यादा खूबसूरत भले बेशक सूरज होगा, लेकिन कोई वर्णन नहीं करता, कोई नहीं कहता. हर कोई कहता है चांद जैसा टुकड़ा, चांद जैसा चेहरा, कोई नहीं कहता सूरज जैसा चेहरा. किसी को कह के देखिए क्या सुनने को मिलेगा. हर कोई क्या कहता है, चांद जैसा टुकड़ा. अब इफ यू थिंक लॉजिकली ऑन दैट, चांद जैसा टुकड़ा कोई किसी को बोल, जस्ट लाइक हेयर, इफ यू जस्ट चेंज द पर्सपेक्टिव, चांद बोला मुझे, यू फील, यू ट्राई टू से आई हैव सो मेनी पिंपल्स ऑन माई फेस, you feel that without you I am nothing. You are the sun and you, what do you try to say? I am the moon, I don't have my own light. If you try to analyze everything so logically, चांद में भी दाग दिख जाएंगे, कीचड़ के नीचे भी, कमल के नीचे भी कीचड़ दिख जाएगा. So I need to change my perspective to accept. Don't see कीचड़ है, कमल के साथ कीचड़ भी है. See कीचड़ है फिर भी कमल है. So as I said, difference is a feature, it is not a bug. नेगेटिव है तब पॉजिटिव भी है. एक्सेप्ट कीजिए, काम भले पॉजिटिव से कीजिए, लेकिन नेगेटिव है तो ठीक है तो है. दिन है तो रात भी है. सारे मौसम अलग है, हर मौसम का अपना फायदा है. पेड़ों का फोटोसिंथेसिस दिन में होता है तो औषधियां रात को होती हैं, रात ना होती तो औषधियां ना होती. औषधियों को चांदनी चाहिए, शरीर को भी रेस्ट चाहिए, रात ना होती तो रेस्ट ना होता. तो अंधेरा भी बहुत कुछ सिखाता है, बुरा नहीं है. हम अंधेरे में ना हो ये हमें ध्यान रखना है. अंधेरा है, हम उस समय क्या कर रहे हैं ये हमें देखना है. सो एक्सेप्ट. अगर हम एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं तो हम कोई महान नहीं है. प्रकृति का नियम है एक्सेप्टेंस. हम प्रकृति के बाहर नहीं है, प्रकृति के ऊपर नहीं है. हम भी प्रकृति के साथ हैं. नियम है संसार का. एंड लुक एट दिस, समटाइम्स वी डोंट एक्सेप्ट पीपल. खुद को तो देख ले, कितना टूटा फूटा. बड़ा आया मुझे बताने वाला. That person might be just giving me that piece of advice which is important for me. I don't look at the piece of advice. I look at the imperfections of the person giving me the advice. And I say, खुद में तो इतनी कमियां हैं, बड़ा आया मुझे बताने वाला. So accept, be open to feedback, accept the feedback, don't resist. वो नहीं implement कर रहा, that's his fault. But if you implement it, you could become a better person. लाइफ में दो ही चीजें आती हैं, एक तो सुख, दूसरा नहीं. दुख आप ले लेते हैं. आ रही शिक्षा पसंद नहीं आती तो हम, क्योंकि तो बाय डिफॉल्ट हमको दुख हो जाता है. लाइफ में दो ही चीजें आती हैं, या तो सुख या शिक्षा. मेरे अनुसार हुआ तो सुख, मेरे अनुसार नहीं हुआ तो दुख नहीं, शिक्षा, लर्निंग. किस किस को शिक्षा नहीं चाहिए वो हाथ खड़ा करे. शिक्षा नहीं चाहिए, ऑलरेडी परफेक्ट है. शिक्षा नहीं चाहिए, सबको चाहिए ना. तो आज से दुखी होना बंद. दुख लाइफ में है ही नहीं. किसी व्यक्ति ने धोखा दे दिया, दुख नहीं है, शिक्षा है. मैंने क्यों नहीं परखा, मैंने खा क्यों लिया धोखा. उसने खिलाया, मेरी प्लेट में कोई कुछ डाल दे तो मेरे मुंह में भी डाल देगा क्या? नहीं ना. मैंने परखा क्यों नहीं, मैंने खा क्यों लिया धोखा. So don't resist people, understand what they are offering. It is up to you, it is your choice. Acceptance and resistance में choice नहीं होनी चाहिए. There is only one way, acceptance. Response is your choice. So change your perception. What do you see here? What does it look like? It looks like a bike, but if you look close, it's a grasshopper sitting on two tendrils. What do you see here? Good. If you see the white spaces, evil. यहाँ क्या दिख रहा है? If you look at the reflection, learn. यहाँ क्या दिख रहा है? मी के अंदर you. So everything has two sides. If resistance is one side, there will be acceptance on the other. Change your perception. What do you see here? अभी ये लास्ट वाला. What do you see here? This one. What is this? There are two blocks. And how about the color? One is white and one is grayish. Now just keep looking at it. Just keep looking at it. Now उसका कलर चेंज नहीं किया, क्या किया? सिर्फ उस डिफरेंस को मिटा दिया. Both of them are of the same color. सिर्फ वो डिफरेंस को मिटा दिया. लाइफ में भी बस डिफरेंस को ही मिटाना है. सब बराबर है, सब सही है. सिर्फ उस डिफरेंस को मिटाना है. वो भी सही, ये भी सही. Right. So, what are some tools for acceptance that we have discussed so far? One is appreciation. This is actually a story. This is a story. Do you know about the story? kuch ne हाँ kuch ne na. So for the benefit of everybody, I'll just tell the story briefly. There was a king who was limp from one leg. He didn't have one leg. So he asked, and he was a very brave and a very wise king, a very good king. The only flaw, the only weakness was that he didn't have a limb. So he asked his, all his artists that if someone can make a portrait of me in which my limb is not visible, and if I am looking very brave, my bravery is reflected in that, I will award that artist. Many artists thought, but how to make the portrait without the limb? And it should not be visible, that weakness should not be visible in that. One of the artists came and he drew this picture in which he is sitting on a horse. So on a horse, definitely one side of his will be visible. So only one leg, the other leg will not be visible at all. And he is aiming at a deer, which is a sign of his bravery. So no matter how many flaws the other person has, you can still look at the strengths and accept the person. So appreciate the strength and you'll be able to accept. Stay at the center. Don't resist, because इधर देखेंगे तो कुछ है, इधर देखेंगे तो कुछ है. Be neutral. Be detached. Stay at the center. And meditation helps you doing this. Meditation tells you that you are a soul with a different set of qualities. Other soul has a different set of qualities. You appreciate your qualities, but the qualities that you might not be having would be there in the other person. They might not have your strength, but you don't have their strength. So appreciate. We are not each other's competitors. We are collaborators. The reason we have got different qualities is that we come together and cooperate and do things together. That difference is not a conflict. Deliberately it has been done like that, so that we come together and we help each other. Another thing that meditation tells us is to stay at the center, be neutral, be detached. See the day, this is the day. Choose what you have to do during the day. Don't reject the night, it's important too. Decide what are the things to be done at night. And meditation tells us, accept people as they are, because you will always not remain the same. You also have a journey. Low points will come in your journey too. So if there is somebody with a low point, accept them. Don't reject them. You will not stay fresh forever. Be humble. So, when I accept, the world accepts me. Investing, you can't get what you don't invest. If you invest time in something, only then you get the result. If you invest love in your relations, only then you get love from others. So if you invest acceptance, only then you get investment in return. So, to learn this art of acceptance, that is for you. You accepted it. So, all this is for you. So, if you want to learn the art of acceptance, it's very simple. It is natural. How does a child accepts everything, right? As a child, did we ever reject anything? We accepted everything. Right? We learned whatever we were taught. Did we say, I will not learn to walk? Why should I learn to walk? Give me a car, I'll directly drive. No. As a child, we learned everything. We accepted everything. Acceptance is our natural nature. Too much of brain does not mean too much of questions. Too much of brain means a lot of answers. Where are they? Because we have used our brain differently. We have not used the way it should be used. Right? So, learning meditation brings back us to our original self, for which acceptance is natural. Intellect means more answers, not more questions. So when I learn meditation, I come back to original. Acceptance becomes normal. It becomes the way of life. And I get more answers. So any questions? Yes. Ji. Okay. The answer to the second question is very easy. No. So I'll answer that first. Acceptance does not mean, as I said, acceptance doesn't mean that you accept the situation you are in and then you remain where you are. That's not acceptance. When you are walking, just observe your legs when you are walking. The moment you lift your leg forward, what's the second leg doing? It's firm on the ground. That is acceptance. To allow you to move forward. If you don't accept, if you start fighting with your past, you are stuck there. You won't be able to move forward. Acceptance is the first step to move forward. You cannot move forward if your other leg is not firm on the ground behind you. That leg is accepting. This is moving forward. That is acceptance. It does not mean to accept suffering. It is to accept that this is my given situation. Now I have to find my way out. That wisdom, the first step to that wisdom is that change is acceptance. Second question, the first question actually, is meditation the only way? Actually, we have not understood meditation well. We understand meditation like being a ritual or being a practice. Meditation is a way to change your consciousness and perception. Once that happens, meditation does not just remain a practice. It becomes a lifestyle. It becomes a way you think. So in that way, if you ask me, to accept, you need to change your thinking. To develop the right perspective, the right consciousness, is the result of meditation. The easiest way, something that can have an everlasting, a permanent change in your consciousness, so that you don't have to teach yourself each time. You teach yourself once, and then that applies to everything. So that one way is meditation. So it's not a practice. We've not understood meditation well, so we feel it is just a practice. But when you learn meditation, you understand it's a way that you introduce yourself to the truth of life, who you are, how these events in the world, why are they happening like this? What is the flow of life? And once you understand that, you use it in your own way. Any other question? Otherwise, then we will move towards meditation. Yes, please.
So, as per Krishna, change is possible.
Yes.
And what you understood, acceptance is the response during this change.
Acceptance is to understand change is going to come. Don't try to question the change itself. क्यों आए तुम? किसी और के पास क्यों नहीं गए? मेरे पास ही क्यों आए? So the thing that you said, that Krishna said in Gita, that change is constant. To understand this is acceptance itself. So if you have understood this truth of life, it means you have accepted this. Now when the change comes, I should apply that same wisdom. I should apply that same acceptance. And then think about what to do next. Okay. Any question? Any other question? So if you still have questions and if you want to know more answers, do you know the center, you know where this is. There might be some center even closer than this to you. You can ask the sisters and you can visit that center. You can come here, not just for the evening talk, but as a follow-up of this session, you can come here, fix up a time for yourself when you can be actually introduced to meditation. You only have to invest 45 minutes or 1 hour daily for just a week to understand the whole thing. To learn might need some time. To practice, to implement does not need any time. It's just a matter of your awareness. Just like you're aware, you're sitting here, but you're aware about who you are, where your home is. So you have it in your awareness. Similarly, just to bring the truth of life into your awareness, you might need some time to just understand that truth. But to implement that truth does not need any extra time. So that much of time for your life is your investment. So you can discuss it with the sisters, fix up a time that you can come here and learn that. But for now, let's just have a short experience of it. Are we all ready? Yes? So in meditation, you don't need to chant anything. You don't even have to close your eyes. But if you wish to close your eyes, you may do it. This change of light is just to make the environment more conducive. It's not a mandate. Just like you're walking on the road and you see the red light, what do? Stop. So this red light is just to tell you, stop those extra thoughts. Stop those waste thoughts. And even when there is red light, all the traffic does not stop. One side of the traffic still continues. So even in this red light, it's not that we have to stop all our thoughts. No, only the waste and extra thoughts need to stop. The productive thoughts, the positive and elevated thoughts need to be channelized. That is meditation. Allow your intuition to be louder than other waste thoughts. That is meditation. So therefore this red light. Okay, so for now I will give you some thoughts and try to be on that track and try to feel what you're experiencing while your mind is on that track. Okay, so just relax your body. Allow your legs to be firm on the ground. Don't hold on to anything. Breathe normally. Blink normally. Just be comfortable with yourself. Doesn't mean merely physical comfort, but to be comfortable with yourself is to be comfortable with who you are. Reflect on your achievements. The achievements that made me happy, that made me valued. But there were instances that you felt you could not achieve something. But today, many of those instances do not matter. We have moved on. We have already accepted. I have understood everything in my life was for good. Sometimes that realization comes later. But whenever it comes, it makes me wiser. So now I am completely comfortable with myself. I am the way I am. Yes, there is a lot of scope for improvement, and I will improve because I love myself. Now just ask yourself, who am I actually? What is my real identity? All that I know about myself is always changing. My body, my looks, they change. My physique, my job, my relationships with other people, they change. So if something is not okay, I accept it because I know it's not permanent. What is permanent is I, the being, who is the master of this body. I am not merely a physical creature. I am a spiritual being, using this body as an instrument. Shining like a star at the center of the forehead. I am the one that experiences happiness, challenges, heat, cold. Whatever happens outside me will always change, but I am permanent. Whatever I feel creates an impression on me. I don't allow any external challenge to create an impression of sorrow on me, because situation will change, but the impression will stay. I only choose happiness. I learn in every situation, and I grow. Come what may, I will always remain peaceful and happy. This is my choice. With this choice, I feel lighter. I feel ready to accept and face any situation. I am prepared. And with this preparation, I come back into the field of my karma. Om